In this video I'm going to be discussing and comparing the sounds of two Telecasters, a Modern Telecaster, which is the one to my right, and a Vintage Telecaster. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, Jamie Horroyd here helping you learn jazz guitar. Welcome to the channel. At the time of recording I have two Telecasters in my studio, a Modern Telecaster which is a Japanese reissue Tele and a Vintage Telecaster which is from the 70s, so I thought it would be fun to do a comparison between both of these guitars so you guys could hear both of the sounds. The first guitar that I'm going to talk about is the Modern Telecaster, which is a Fender Japan 62 reissue. As you can see, it's a custom bound Telecaster. The only thing that's not stock about this guitar is the pickups. The pickups have been replaced by a set of bulldog pickups that were voiced by Adrian Ingram, who is a friend of mine, and I must say, as a side note, these pickups are the best Telecaster pickups that I've ever tried, and I'm not being paid or sponsored to say that. I've tried a fair share of Telecaster pickups and Telecasters. I've owned 5 or 6 Telecasters over the years and played much more than that, and if you want to get a set of pickups that work well for jazz, then this neck pickup, as you will hear, does a fantastic job. The Vintage Telecaster that the black one is going up against is this thing, which is a 1973 Fender Telecaster. The only thing which I've changed about this one is the frets of the guitar. The frets are wearing out, so I had this refretted recently, and this plays and sounds better than it ever has done. String wise, for the blonde Telecaster I'm using a set of 11 gauge strings, which I'll hold up to the camera so you can get the exact numbers if you're interested. And for the Telecaster, the black Telecaster, I'm using a set of 10s, and I'll hold those up to the camera so you can see the exact gauge as well, both D'Addario strings. Amp wise, I actually recorded both of these guitars through my Fender Blues Junior Mark III, and I've attached a picture of the settings now so you guys can check out the settings if you like. For the overdrive tones I used a Boss OD3, I think that's where it's called, and I've also taken a picture of that so you can see the settings as well. I just used one mic to record the amp. I used my P120 and I keep this a few inches from the amp. I feel that if you get this right on the speaker it sounds a bit too in your face, so that's what I've done recording wise. Just before we begin, if you'd like to learn how to play jazz guitar, then please check out my free beginner jazz guitar guide, which is linked and listed below. So that's the sounds of both guitars. What did you guys think? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. I always like to read your comments and know what you guys think. Speaking of that, you guys have also been asking me what I think of the tones in these videos. Previously in these videos, I keep my thoughts to myself. I don't want to influence what you think. However, there's a few common questions that you guys keep asking that I wanted to address. So in some of these videos, some of you will note that the guitars sound very similar, like my Gurdin versus Gibson. The sounds are, I agree, pretty similar, but how those guitars play and feel in person is different, and I think it's one of those things which is hard to convey over video. So if you are serious about buying a guitar, then I do highly recommend going to try out guitars in person still whenever possible. I have bought guitars without trying them. Sometimes I've only played a few chords on a guitar and bought them, and that's been fine. However, in this past year, I'm actually guilty of this. I actually bought 2 guitars and I had to get rid of them because they weren't as good as what I thought they were going to be. There was one guitar and there was another great player playing this particular guitar, and I thought I'd love it, but when it came, the action was really high, the guitar didn't sound particularly good. So that's an example of why you should always go and try guitars out in person. Even if the sounds can be projected well on video, that doesn't necessarily mean that the guitar plays great and feels great to play. Okay, so let's get back to the point here. So which of these Telecasters do I prefer the sound of? Well, let's go for each sound one by one. For the neck pickup sound, I definitely prefer the older Telecaster. Ever since I've had this Telecaster, there's been a darkness that I can get with that guitar, which I've yet to emulate with either a Strat, Telecaster, Les Paul. What I like to do with that guitar is I just back off the volume ever so slightly, maybe 5%, and you get this beautiful dark sound. And I find that really helpful for trying to get them Ed Bickett type of tones. This guitar sounded fantastic as well. It was arguably more articulate, but it just wasn't as dark. So of course that might be better for you. You might prefer a more articulate sound, but I really like the dark sound of the 73 Telecaster there. The next clip featured me playing the bridge pickup of both guitars. To me, this was one of the most interesting comparisons because I found it very, very hard to actually tell a difference. The pickup in the Bulldogs is a fantastic bridge pickup. It's got so much bite and it sounds fantastic for blues. And the bridge pickup in the 73 Tele also has lots of bite and power to it. So these are probably the best bridge Telecaster pickups that I've ever tried personally and heard. So for that one, I'd have to say it was a tie. The last tones you heard were overdrive tones, and I think that both Telecasters did a fantastic job. There was minimal difference again. I was using a bridge pickup on both guitars with an overdrive pedal. I think that maybe this guitar, the 73 Tele, just had a little bit more punch and sparkle, but once again, I really feel like that was down to the frets. I think that if I had the 62 reissue refretted like this, then I'm pretty sure you couldn't tell a difference. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you found this video useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below. And if you want more content like this, then don't forget to subscribe.